try with a new user profile. Disable all unnecessary startups. Try a different way to the end. Swap hardware. Brainstorm the problem. Brainstorm the problem. Brainstorm the problem.
Good morning. It is May 25th, 2024, 11 a.m. I had audio confirmation. Speaker bot is alive. I am broadcasting my voice on Zoom, and now that's supposed to be my video on Stoom. My video on Stoom. Yeah, there it is. Now my broadcast is going over on Zoom. So let's say hello to people in Zoom, shall we? They know that I'm coming to them because they're
John
hearing
Williams
me
said hello, Doug.
through their
Jonathan said hello, Doug.
through their Zoom and their speaker bot coming through. And what was I just trying to? Oh, I got to go turn off those repeating speaker bot messages. So Zoom, I'm coming to you now. See, there's that button. Oh, and then I got to figure out 2 columns, 2 rows. That button. There we go. I see Mike Wojcik on camera. Hello, Mike. I didn't hear Mike. Where did I lose Mike? Let's see, 3 columns, 2 rows.
Read chat, please.
I will get to chat in just a moment. Let's see. I know what I got. I've got another adjustment to make on my speakers. There we go. Try it again. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, that worked.
Is that better?
Good. Yeah, that's more better. Did you have anything to bring to the table this morning? How are you?
I'm doing fine. No, nothing to bring. Just haven't been on here for a while, so.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Checked.
I appreciate you coming on. See, I'm going to make a little adjustment to my picture over Zoom. There, that looks good. Okay, and I think Bobby Warren was first in Zoom this morning. He's on camera now. Hello, Bobby.
Hey, Doug.
How are you today?
Not so good. My mom's computer, I got it working a little bit, then it runs low battery very fast.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. I have the email from you. So let me make the rest of the rounds. Hello, Alex Cheek.
Hello, Doug and Mike and Bobby.
And Alex, do you have any topics to bring to us today?
Yes, I did. I wanted to last week, but you by the time you got done with the team, you were giving out. So I just wanted to show you and everybody how I've got everything set up at my grandma's since I got that new computer set up. If you'd be interested in how I've got the network and all that set up to be able to connect to the computer over there.
Okay. Is that I can't quite tell from that description. Is that a long or a short talk?
Well, I thought you might want to see it, so I thought you might want to remotely connect to my computer so you can see it.
Okay. What I'm gonna, I think I'll be able to deal with. Well, no, I'm not quite sure how fast it's going to be with Bobby. Okay, so how about we come back to you right after I say hello to people in chat and finish the rounds on Zoom, and then we'll come to that with you, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
Very good, thank you. And Josh Kinder, aka Ghetto, how are you? And Josh says he is fine, thank you. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm interpreting his silence there. I'm going to come over to the chat room. I'll ask you in Zoom to have yourselves muted. And then let's say hello here. I've got a pinned comment up here because I want to give Ken Stout just due. I don't know if he's actually in chat today. I think he said I don't know if he's going to be here. And I can't, how do I even see the whole thing? I don't want to unpin it because I might lose it. It's way back at the beginning. It's from yesterday. Am I first? I mean, nobody commented yesterday, the day before, even the day before, the day before. I guess that is the whole comment. Let's see what happens when I unpin it. Do I lose it completely? Yeah, I did. Lost it completely. All right, so hello, Darren Gilholm, Chris Garrett. Got very good news. Got the fiber installed. Have 1 gig down and 1 gig up. Bobby asked what provider. Chris answers it's the electric company. Greg Guy, 4th place in chat. It's got warm, 83 degrees out. Got to go cut the grass and go to Walmart. I'm guessing he's not still here, that he's gone off about his day. John Williams claiming to be first from Madison, Wisconsin. People saying hellos to each other's. 1 gig awesome. We have 1 gig from our ISP for John. Chris Garrett just got a pop-up for Windows 11. This computer does not even support it. The Tell Me More is going to try to sell me a new PC. I do not need to know more. I already know too much about Windows 11, and I do not, well, we want get into IR today. Probably it today. Chris wants to have a good stream today, not like last Saturday. It happened to me as well as my vintage laptop. Chris says nothing you did is my anxiety not wanting to change. Not sure what the change was last week that he didn't like. Jim, sure sign of coming apocalypse. I'm here for the start of the stream. Hello, Rick Lakes. Greg Guy got the Win 11 upgrade request. Said no for now. Selden Ball, greetings all. Josh, I'm going to be on Zoom. Doug, I'm eating right now. Just want to let you know I'll be around. Gotcha. Understood. Jonathan Rand. Rick. Let's see. Catching up here. Selden Ball waiting for AI PCs to be common. Then I'll upgrade. Oh, how about that? You want the AI PC. Nothing less for you. John gave me a speaker bot. Hello. Zavi Menor's here. Brian Lightfoot. Wake up, Bobby. Tony Wallow. AVDVR good. Audio levels seem a little high. Okay, I'll take a look at my equalizer is showing fine for my voice.
Not wanting Windows 11, Doug. I want to stay on Windows 10.
Got it, Chris. And you can stay on Windows 10 forever. You're willing to risk it. Let's see, Brian, Tony, Brian. Mike is slightly hot. Let's see, is this, who is the prior? Selden says, audio seems high. Yeah, my equalizer is showing correct. So let's see if other people are reporting. Oh, Ken is here. Am I first? I mean, nobody commented yesterday, the day before, even the day before that. He got in pretty quickly after I scheduled this show.
Brian Lightfoot said Mike sounds good now.
Mike sounds good. All right. How about Mark and Bill and Todd? Do they sound okay? Rick, Carl, Ken, Greg Guy, he's still here trying to get awake and get moving. Did Ken golf today? Brian says, I'm back. Rumors my death greatly exaggerated. CFWW, hello. Turned down golf. Played the big course yesterday. Mike sounds good now. So my source was wrong. Ken to Brian, so my source was wrong. Whatever that is. I've got it. Okay, so let's go see what's up with Alex. Bringing Alex back into Zoom.
I'm still here, Doug.
Yep, I got you, and you're on screen. And I have said hello to everybody. Yeah, so you want me to connect remotely to a computer, right?
I will either connect remotely to my computer so I can show you how I and everybody else how I remotely connect to my grandma's house.
All right, that works for me. Let's see, I got to get a two-factor authentication.
Give me a code. Give me a 6-digit code. I'm ready for it.
All right. I'm not at that point yet, actually. I'm still getting into Log Me and Rescue. I've got to do a two-factor authentication. didn't like that. 5, 3, 4. I typed that right. What are you talking about here? 0, 9, 8, 5, 3, 4. Wait, did he just say his password over the air? No. It's a two-factor authentication code. Only works once. So I'm doing another one because the first one didn't work. For anyone keeping track, this one is 958-384.
Yeah, and by the time we get to the website and try to type it in, you already have it typed in and okayed, and then it will work.
I mean to do that. Oh, and you're already, no, I didn't even need, did you do a DougBetts remote icon from your desktop?
No, I'm just waiting. I don't have that. I'm just waiting for the code. I'm just waiting for you to give me the code.
Okay, that's interesting. 594461. All right, somebody else has done a DougBetts remote. That's the one that's waiting there.
It was me.
Oh, okay, Bobby.
It was me. I got it from your description.
Yeah, that's probably going to time out. So you'll probably wind up having to do that again.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Doug.
You should have a prompt on your side.
Not yet. It says DougBetts has stopped servicing requests. Please wait.
No, really. Yeah, I saw a piece here go, okay, now, oh, that's weird. It's coming on and coming off. For those who are watching my screen, when this launch remote control session button becomes available, I need to click on it. And it looks like it's working
now
this
gonna pop
time.
up.
Okay. Last time that button became available, it went away right away.
Okay, now it says remote control station established with DougBetts.
Okay. Oh, I see what's going on here. Is it has automatically opened into another screen, I think. Where is it? Connection lost. It's having trouble. Are you on Wi-Fi?
No, but I think I know what it is. I'll fix it.
All right. I'm going to come back and look at chat while you're working on that. Chris says, don't want AI either. Got to move away from the computers. Thunder and lightning. Thunder only happens when it rains.
Okay. You should be able to see
You
it.
got something now? All right, let's try again. Launch remote control session. That looks like a proper window. Do you see me moving the mouse?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to make your screen bigger. Let's go here, stretch to window, and then full screen. And then we can minimize that. All right, show and tell time. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry if I confuse anybody, but basically how I set up the connection at my grandma's house is her router and my router at home have the same functionality. They're both relatively new TP-Link routers, and so they have open VPN functionality built into the router, like a open VPN server built into the router. So I enable that, and I'm going in here so I can show you where the file lives for the Open VPN, because the
right.
file gets imported into program files, Open VPN, and the config file. I thought
Can I explain the understanding I have of your setup and see if you tell me that I've got it right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your router and her router talk to each other through a virtual private network. This folder that you're showing us now is used for you to be able to configure that, but this file doesn't. This folder and these files don't have anything to do with each time you connect to her computer, because that connection is established between your routers and that stays there until you do something to change it. Is that correct?
That's sort of correct.
All right. And I have a setup like that with a client.
I forget where the files live at the moment, but it's there, so I won't bore you with trying to hunt it. But
Right.
actually, what it is both of our routers have TP. Both mine and her router are TP-Link routers. They both are relatively new routers, so they both have a VPN server function. And one of the functions of the VPN server you can set up is OpenVPN. So I set up OpenVPN on my router and her router. So if I'm at her house and want to connect to my router, I can do that, and vice versa. I can connect from my router to her router. And the way that works is it's kind of like SSH when you're logging into a web server or whatever, like I use to control my dad's website. It requires a file, an OVPN file, for you to be able to connect to it, and that file is automatically generated by whatever router you want to connect to. So that file is automatically generated, two separate files, one from my router here at the house and one from her router. And I save that file on whatever device I want to connect to her house or to my house from, whether that be my iPad, my cell phone, my computer, whatever. And so and all those files generated by each router are unique. So that file is like the password for the VPN connection without having to use an actual password.
Okay. Now that's a little bit deep into it for the people who might be watching the video. So let's state it in a way that is more useful for people who might be watching. This VPN connection between these routers gives the appearance to your computer and her computers that they're on the same network. And because of that, you can safely use remote desktop that's built into Microsoft Windows to connect remotely from your computer to her computer, because as far as they're concerned, they think that they're on the same physical network. And it's a virtual private, meaning virtual meaning pretend. It's a pretend private network, so that through the internet, you guys are connected to each other just as if you were in the same building.
I'll prove that. I'll prove that to you. What were you gonna say, Doug?
Actually, go ahead and finish what you're doing here. So
right now, this is the IP address of the computer at her house.
And that is a local private IP address that you would have for all the computers that are in your home on your physical network, but this one reaches out over the network because of the virtual private network.
But right now, I just wanted to show everybody. Right now, I'm not connected to the VPN. So if I click on connect, it'll just sit there and say initiating remote connection.
Well, I disagree with that. You are connected to the
timeout.
Your router. Oh, it timed out. Oh, you don't have the VPN connection alive between your routers right now?
Now the VPN server is turned on. No, it's not a VPN connection between the routers. It's a connection between her router and my computer, or if I'm at her house, her router and the computer and my computer here I'm on right now.
Okay, well, let's move past that. Are you able to connect to it?
I just wanted to show you that right now I don't have a VPN software running, so I wasn't able to connect to it. I was just trying to make proof of concept here.
Oh, okay. You're using
Open VPN GUI. This is the program I run if I want to connect to it, and then all I do is click on this icon down on the bottom of the taskbar.
Yeah.
Click on connect. All those messages that come up just tell me it's connecting.
Right.
It'll come up with the notification down in the bottom right-hand corner, or usually it does, but it's green now, and it says assigned IP address 10806. That's assigned by her router. That's the fake VPN network address that's assigned by her router. So now, if I try to connect to that 192.168.0.100, which is the internal of the computer over there, and I put in my password. Typed it in wrong. It will connect. Now you're seeing the computer at her house.
Got it. So I misunderstood what you were doing, because at the beginning you said you have the same router at both locations. That's irrelevant. You're using a VPN client to connect through a VPN to her router. You could use that client software anywhere. You don't have to have the same router as her. I assume that when you said you have both the same router in both locations, that you connected the routers to each other. And
yes.
That's not what you did. All right.
I do, but the router is what runs the software. So what I meant was I can run a VPN the server the same way on both routers,
right?
Because it's the same.
Okay.
Same router.
So they're not full-time connected to each other. Got it. Very good. Nice.
But now you see, and while I'm on here, on her computer, my computer runs Windows 10 Professional. This computer runs a special version of Windows 10 Professional called Windows 10 Education. And I've noticed some differences between the Windows 10 Pro and Windows 10 Education I think you may find interesting.
All right.
The first one is that on here, it doesn't have anything at the top. If I minimize this, the remote connection, and go back to my computer here and do the same thing and go home here, it shows this up at the top because my computer's running Windows 10 Pro.
Okay.
The other one is her computer here. If I go to the updates and go to view update history, and I go to definition updates, it says Windows Defender antivirus current channel staged. On Windows 10 Pro on my computer, it says broad. And also, I've noticed this computer does not receive Windows Defender updates, definition updates every day, because the last update, as you can see there, was on the 24th.
But prior to that, it appears to be daily. Has the computer been turned off for those days in between the 19th and the 24th?
It's been turned on, but there's been a few days that I come on here and I click check for updates and there's nothing. No definition updates or anything. So there's some difference in between the Windows Defender Stage and Windows Defender Browse. The difference between the versions.
Okay.
And I figure it's because this is the Education Edition. So if I go here to Activation, it says Windows 10 Education. And the reason why it is that is because I got that key from the college, and I never used that key before. But all the other keys I got from the college just recently stopped working because you can no longer upgrade to Windows 10 using Windows 7 and 8.1 keys. And so that's the first time I've ever had to use that original
Ran Israel said, can you ask Alex to run
Windows
WinVer on
10,
her
and so that's
computer?
the reason why, because that's what the college gave me.
Okay, can you hang on a second before you leave there? Don't leave there yet. Could you run WinVer on that computer for us?
Yes. It should be 22H2, yeah.
Yeah, so it's hang on. Windows 10 Education, user interface. Okay. Another thing that I noticed, and it's 22H2, I noticed when you're on that settings screen at the top of the screen, it had a notice that some settings are managed by your organization.
That has to do with the group policy setting that I set.
You set, okay.
For the Windows update.
All right.
But there's one other thing I did not change. I did not set it come this away by default.
Israel said that's education,
and that is if I go to the personalization
edition, more similar to it.
If I go to the lock screen here on this computer, there is no option for Windows Spotlight. It's only picture and slideshow.
All right. Rand says that's education, not pro education. It's a higher edition similar to enterprise.
Well, I'm not sure on the exact differences, but all I know is it has the same features as pro, like it can join a domain, it has group policy.
Yeah, okay, so it can join a domain. Now, I think what Rand is saying is that it's Windows 10 Education. It's not Windows 10 Home. It's not Windows 10 Pro. It's Windows 10 Education. It's not Windows 10 Pro Education. It's just straight education. And Rand says it's more, the education is more than Pro. All right. More features, I presume he's saying, rather than price, because I'm sure you can't buy it as an individual operating system. Probably has to be purchased by the institution.
And of course, because this VPN server runs that I'm connected to right now, runs on the router. And I just don't stay connected to it all the time, obviously. But because it runs on the router, the computer doesn't even think it's connected to. The computer doesn't even realize it's connected to a VPN right now. If I go down here, it just says network, which is what it always says for her normal internet.
Right.
But since I'm here, I can access, if I had any other computers or printer or anything, I can access it just as if, and even if I close out of the remote connection, if I go on my normal browser on my computer and try to access, like say, a private IP address, another computer, or the router, it will connect. The VPN connection just allows me to access the remote desktop and have a direct connection between, essentially between the two computers without having to go through AnyDesk or log me in or TeamViewer or anything.
Yeah. Okay, does that do it?
Is that all you wanted to see?
Yeah. Let's see if there's any questions that come through. I'm familiar with VPN and VPN clients. In fact, I have one up on my screen right now. I have the client software for connecting to VPN in a client's office. And this client, in some of their locations, we have routers at people's homes and for travel that they can connect the router to the local internet, and then the networks are connected to each other through a VPN. But on my computer here, I have this client software that I can connect into their VPN. In that office, we're very security minded, and so I'm not allowed to use my LogMeIn Rescue unattended remote connection, but I do connect. Sometimes I will use the VPN client to connect to their computers, and then I will launch a LogMeIn Rescue connection dynamically, and I'm allowed to do that, and I do that because it's better features than remote desktop. Remote desktop has some disadvantages compared to LogMeIn Rescue. So it depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. So, Alex, I'd like to move on to the next topic if we're done.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. I just thought you might be interested in that. So.
Well, I think that's a good thing to show to the audience because we haven't shown that type of a situation before. And that could be of interest to people. If you, a lot of routers are capable of doing a VPN configuration. How long did it take you to get that figured out, or were you already familiar with configuring VPN connections?
Well, both. It didn't take me long to get it figured out, because basically for the server side of things, all you have to do is go into the settings, go into the advanced settings of the TP-Link router, go under the VPN. You got two options: VPN server or VPN client. Where the client is where the router would connect to somewhere else on the internet, like you normally think of a VPN. So all you have with the server, all you have to do is click on where it says VPN server.
Yeah.
Click on enable and tell it whether you want home network access or home network and internet access.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people are familiar with the term VPN in an entirely different context, where you're wanting to go out to the internet without the website you're going to realizing who you are. So that's a VPN service.
Yeah.
Very different thing.
In the context of my setup, though, when you select the option for home network only and home network and internet, what the home network and internet option does is similar to what you think of when you think of a VPN. If you're connected to a coffee shop and Wi-Fi and you connect to your router at home with the VPN connection, if you have home network and internet, if you try to go to run a speed test or whatever, when you're connected, it'll show you as being connected. Your internet is being connected through your home internet service provider. But if you select home network only when you connect to your router, it will only grant you access to the your home network resources. It won't reroute your internet connection through the other internet connection, which in her case, at my grandma's house, that's the way I have it set up for home network only, because her internet connection is a whole lot slower than my internet connection here at the house. And so I don't want all my traffic being ran through her 10 meg up connection when I've got a 500 connection.
Okay, let me move along here and get some people from the chat room involved here. And Bobby, I'm going to delay a little bit on you because we got a new name in the chat room coming in with a question. Cesar Montero coming in with a question. New name. I do not have, what do they call that, moderated chat thing on right now. He only had to be a subscriber for 1 minute to be able to interact in chat. And I might be turning that back on before too long, depending upon how it goes. So if there's anyone else that's watching and hasn't spoken up in chat that's new around here, it would be a good time for you to say something in chat. He says, hi, Doug. I have a HP Pavilion HPE, which with an Intel i7 3770, unable to update to Windows 11 due to TPM 2.0. Must be supported and enabled on this PC, and the processor isn't currently supported for Windows 11. What are my options? Well, that sounds like Jim. Oh, hello, Jim.
Greetings, kids.
Yeah. What are your options? Well, I'll start out with saying option 1 is buy a new computer. Option 2, you could force Windows 11 on it, but you need to
Not a good idea.
do that.
Not a good.
Yeah, there's some downsides to doing that. You could continue with Windows 10 unprotected and at high risk on the internet. So that's, I think, a fair rundown of your options. Yeah, ideally new computer. Now, what I'm very, very interested in these days, and I've experimented with in a client's office recently, is these very inexpensive mini computers. I installed a Beelink computer that was under $200 purchase price on the managing partner in a law firm who's very active on his computer, one of the most active users in their office, and he's been working for over 2 weeks with that now and has not had a single complaint. In fact, he reports that it's faster than his old computer. Now, his old computer was similar generation to yours, Cesar. But a lot of people in offices, they're not doing anything that really stresses a computer very much. They're doing website activities, they're doing email, they're doing word processing, they're doing some law office software. They watch YouTube videos. He'll have multiple tabs open in his browser. Half a dozen to a dozen programs open at any one time, switching between them, 2 monitors. And on a Beelink computer under $200, he's happy. I'm thinking that may be a real go-to solution for a lot of my clients. I also recently set up Beelink computers over $500 for a husband and wife in their home. And as I'm looking at that now, I think that was probably substantially overbuy for them. That was before I had experimented with lower end computers. So, Cesar, let's see. He says, thank you for the response. I'm going to go one more thing here. Cesar, I'm going to turn you blue, which means you're a moderator. And on my channel, what that really means is that we know you. You've been around. You've had some form of substantial interaction where I can see that you came in with a legitimate, genuine question. Pebbles comes in as another grade. Now, I don't know anything about Pebbles yet, so how about you talk to us a little bit, Pebbles? I can, let's see, I want to experiment with something. Now that I have somebody in there that I have not made moderator yet, I'm going to come back over here and let you see how I do this. Going to edit the current live stream into customization and live commentary. So when I turn live commentary mode, that means only approved users can interact in the chat room. And I'm going to come over here and see that now when I click on the 3-dot menu next to Pebbles, do I get an option for make this person a approved user? I am not seeing it there, but I think that's because I have chat popped out. So let's come back to today's show here. This says turned off subscribers only mode. Well, actually turned on, yeah, live commentary mode. So now do I get an option for Pebbles to make Pebbles an approved user? Not yet. How about if I refresh this page? I know you're getting the mirroring picture-in-picture effect. As moderator. No, I'm not seeing it, which actually means Pebbles cannot do any more chat now because I haven't made Pebbles a approved. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off for now. There's another way that I can go make Pebbles an approved user. Let's go back to subscribers. 1 minute. I'd like to.
Can you explain something for me real fast?
All right.
If you have a moment. I'm just curious. What other features does Log Me and Rescue have that you need that a remote desktop does not provide?
Let's see. Can I do? I don't have another one up right now. I can pull information. I can query the system for what's active in Task Manager right now. I can query error log information. I can do a Control-Alt-Delete button on my computer. So if the computer is not responsive, I can send a command that way. It has better windowing capability. I can resize the image within the window better. When I'm doing remote desktop, I find I have to use the scroll bars on the side on some computers in order to get to the top or the bottom. It keeps a log of my connections to the computer. There's more.
Ran Israel said in remote desktop, it's either you or the user between the keyboard and the chair,
I think that's
not both.
enough.
I'm
just curious.
Yeah, well, Rand just brought up another point that is actually even more significant, is that when I'm using remote desktop, my client on the other side, they lose the video. They can't see what I'm doing. So I can't assist them with things. I can only work on the computer.
Oh,
they're cut off.
I've noticed that a lot too. I've noticed that too. Like when you connect on remote desktop, the second you connect on the host on the local computer, it automatically goes to the lock screen. Yeah. As far as I know, there's no way around that.
Right. Let's see. Did I get Pebbles back? Pebbles, speak up again. You should be able to chat now. Forgive me for experimenting on you. I don't know you well enough to know if you're okay with that. Has Caesar said anything since I made Caesar a moderator? No. Yeah, Randon gave me a speaker bot. Remote desktop is either you or the user between the keyboard and the chair, not both. Yeah, that's a big deal. Pebbles is here. Good. What kind of computer you got, Pebbles? What do you use your computer for? Let's get to know you a little bit. Let's see. Don't want that. I'm clicking around some other things here. And let's see. Bobby, are you here? No, Bobby was asking for me to connect. Let's go look at, I'll go bring up Bobby's email. This doesn't expose Bobby's email address, so here we go. Let's see. Oh, Pebbles desktop home. All right, let's see. I got some response from Pebbles, so I'm going to go back there. Pebbles desktop home. I am here. Pretty short responses. Let's Scanning through, looking at these chat messages. Islander Jer, if we're fishing for questions, I had a Windows 11 machine acting weird. Yeah, that's the primary thing I want to be doing. I mean, I have topics in the list of topics, but I really rarely care if we get to any of my topics. If people have questions in chat or from emails, very much like to go there. So Islander Jer, tell us some more about it's acting weird. And if you, Islander Jer, if you want to come in on Zoom so you can actually talk to us instead of typing it out, you can send an email to that address that's on screen right now, DougBetts@LiveWindowsTraining.com, and then tell me in chat that you sent me an email, and I'll send you the credentials and we can get you in Zoom. I don't see Bobby here yet. I'll come over to his email. He says, hey, Doug, I want you to look at my mom's computer. Her computer doesn't charge the battery. And he gives us a screenshot. Battery check, primary replace, primary logic state okay, charge state blown fuse. Looks like you need to replace the battery. What else are we going to say about that? Component test failed. Now, you did send me another email, so let me go check on that. And nothing informative in that part of that. So I'm going to come back and look for his, I think he sent me another email. No, I'm that's bogus, man. I thought he sent me another email. I don't see one. Bobby, are you there yet? No, Bobby. Coming back to chat room. Get chat popped out. There's the fishing. Let's see, that was Islander Jer. Do we got anything more from Islander Jer? Not yet. Hello, Londog. Let's see, did we get anything back from Cesar about buying a computer? Or if there's a reason why you can't, that's really the best way to go. If you insist on some other method, such as forcing Windows 11, we'll help you with that. Jim will probably continue to say that's a bad choice. Just be prepared for that. Oh, he's gone, so I didn't get a reaction. Let's see, Londog ran Israel. When I went in my list of Microsoft programs, the start menu, I think it says remote desktop. Remote desktop is a pro feature. And that's different than remote assistance. Let's see, who did we just get? Oh, Jim came back in.
Yeah, I've been having an intermittent problem with the system, and it's apparently the graphics card, so I yanked it out. I'm on the internal graphics.
Pebbles is a home-built computer. Windows 10 Pro. Under Jer. So it does nothing other than run a lighting system and head end, a lighting system called head end, I guess, and monitoring. After leaving it for a while, it will lose any meaningful display. I am uploading a video. We'll link it in a minute. Oh, great. Let's see. Here's the link. Let's go. Take that off the screen while I click on that. Yeah, let's see. So I'm assuming this is what the screen looks like after he leaves it for a while. He's got a mouse. How about Control Shift Escape for Task Manager?
Here's my first question.
Yeah.
Does he have any third-party apps that change how the desktop looks?
Ah, good question.
Because if he's got desktop modifiers on there,
Yeah.
and this is a recent update of 11, it could be that it's the problem that people are having.
Yeah. And so also we'd want to, he can tell us what operating system it is. Is it 10 or 11, Home or Pro?
It says Windows 11 display issue, so I'm assuming it's 11.
All right. Let's see, that was Islander Jer. I'm going to go back and search for Islander to review all of his comments. As when he first came in, somebody responding, maybe used to Caesar. Oh, Islander Jer was giving something for Caesar. Okay, installing Windows 11 without TPM and secure boot. So that would be forcing Windows 11. And you can do it, and you should. Now, Microsoft doesn't promise that you're going to, that's going to continue working. They're not obligated to allow that to continue working. My suspicion is it probably will. And continuing with searching through the rest of Islander to be sure I get all of his comments. Alex has some top-notch noise suppression. Looks pretty windy there. Why is he saying Alex looks windy? I don't get that. Windows 11 machine acting weird. All right. Does nothing other than running a lighting system called head end. Okay, lighting system called head end. I have no awareness of what that is. Try a Google search on that. Head end.
Jim, I got modification program on my Ant computer and on my Windows 11 home, but I have yet to see any changes.
You mean, hey, you have yet to see any problems with it?
Yeah, I have yet to see any problems.
All right. Well, that doesn't mean everybody who uses it is going to have problems. But a computer that's having problems, this is a question that Jim is asking because he's had experiences with those types of programs causing problems.
Right. But I have not.
All right.
Now, that doesn't mean I won't.
Okay. That also doesn't that also doesn't help us any. Do you understand why, Josh?
Well,
that doesn't help us any in trying to solve this person's problem. It doesn't help us any to find out that, hey, somebody's using Windows modifying screen and they're not having a problem with it. Well, that doesn't help us track down his problem. So, so Islander Jero says it works again just fine after a hard reboot. So you're saying like a Control-Alt-Delete and restart, you can't do that. Control-Alt-Delete or Control-Shift-Escape, are you able to get to Task Manager and command a reboot from there? When he's saying hard reboot, I'm taking that to mean that he holds down the power button. I should say he or she. I don't really know if this is a male yet. I'm assuming that to mean holding down the power button until it turns off and then turning the power back on. That's what I call a hard boot. Head in means it's the end user's interface to the system. Okay, the head in, the entity that has a head on his shoulders. Doesn't respond to Control-Shift-Escape. Got it. Bog standard, no frills Win 11. Bog? I don't know what bog in that sense means.
It basically just means that it's a Windows 11 install. There's nothing added to it. It's just the default install.
All right. Is that a cool kids term I'm not aware of?
It's bog standard. Sounds like it might be a UK euphemism.
Oh, okay.
So he might be from the UK, possibly from Aussie land. You don't know for sure.
All right.
My first question is going to be, have you tried, I mean, I know it's probably a little bit of a pain in the ass, but have you tried running the software on 10? And is there any problems running it on 10?
Oh, Windows 10. Okay. Let's see. I see an explanation here about Alex has a flying flag in the breeze as a Zoom background. So that's what he was referring to about windy. Lawn Dog, make sure there's no screensaver timer. Pebbles, I tried Runite Desktop and Assistant. Remote Desktop and Assistance did not work. Yeah, that's different. The Remote Desktop Assistance that's on Windows is not the same thing as Remote Desktop. As this Remote Desktop will get you to Remote Desktop, and but that's different than Remote Support or Remote Assistance. The TPM chip is something they've been pushing for a very long time. I'm going to skip over that. American flag, the name of the system. Oh, this is the lighting system he's talking about.
Correct.
Okay. M31 British. Sorry, bog standard. I'm being too British. Bog is standard or stock. Once you go in the bog, you never return. And then winter mute, probably given a, definition of that. So how about Highlander Jer disabling all other startup items that are not needed, since that's sounds like it's a single purpose computer, so that nothing else is launching. And we haven't had a response yet whether he's using any kind of a desktop modification software. The mouse was still responsive, so the motherboard's still active, memory's still active. It's just the display image. Now there's a keyboard sequence for resetting the graphics adapter. I want to say something like Control-Shift-Alt-B or M, Control-Alt-M, something like that. Somebody will come up with that in the chat room. It's a keyboard command for resetting the graphics adapter. Islander Jer, construction dust ingress. Could this potentially mess with the display? Yeah, I don't see that.
No, this is not. No, that's not.
No,
that's not the issue. No.
I mean, if your computer was overheating and the intake ports or the fan was the CPU cooler was clogged, that could be overheating. But this doesn't sound like an overheating issue. I can see it slowing the thing down, but I'm surprised to get this particular fault. Sorry, the bog standard comment was supposed to mean that I'm not running any desktop modification. Oh, that's right. Okay, so he has answered that. No desktop modifications. Yeah, here's Winnipeg telling us to reset the graphics adapter. So next time you get that to happen, Islander, try Win Control-Shift-B. Pebbles typo. Okay, Pebbles has been interacting enough that I recognize Pebbles is not the person who shall not be named. I'm going to turn you blue, Pebbles. Now wait a minute, before I do that, is the approved hide user add as moderator? No, the approved thing is not showing up here when I've turned that feature on midstream. Oh, but I have it off right now. That's right. I turn it back off so that Pebbles can talk. Islander, wow, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know you could reset the display adapter with a keyboard shortcut. Yeah, restart graphics, Win Control-Shift-B. Yep. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to do that on Baby Beast. I was about to say I'll try it on Big Beast. While I'm streaming. that would be high risk.
Yeah, there's a good idea.
Windows Control Shift B. Rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time. So here it is. I'm showing Baby Beast on the screen, and the screen goes black and then comes back to life. Now, I didn't watch on the stream to see if that actually, whoops, wrong key. Windows Control Shift B. Try that again. Yeah, okay, so it did go black on the stream. It's pretty quick. Islander, I think he just restarted the computer because this, well, he gave us a video of the black screen. I don't know if he's got the black screen now, whether he's at a point where he can try that. All right. I'm sure I have missed some things in chat. Oh, Londog about asking a number for the remote computer. So it looks like he tried the remote support. And the person who's providing the support has to have a Microsoft account, if that's what he's working on there. But that is different than remote support is different than remote desktop. The new remote system, remote desktop looks pretty. I like it. Let's see, where's Windows key remote? Does that get you to it? Yeah, remote desktop connection, but no, that brings up RDP. That's not this. That's not the.
And Israel said we can't see chat.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Costanzo asking, did Islander say whether the system is using discrete or integrated GPU? I don't think we've been told that yet. But that command works even on integrated because Baby Beast is integrated graphics. The ability to remote via any desk. Am connected now. Remote in via any desk. I prefer for you to, Islander, use in the description of my video. I've got a link in there for establishing a remote connection. I prefer to do it that way because I have my setup arranged that way. So let's see, where is that? Looking in these topics. Down here in the description under this video, this part that says use this link to start a one-time remote support session with me. No software will be installed on your computer with this link, so you click on that link and then it will come up on my screen. You won't need to deal with a 6-digit code. Got it, Londog. Islander has a Intel Graphics 730. That's integrated, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Which means it's a recent CPU. It's like maybe 13th gen, 12th gen.
All right.
Something of that nature.
All right.
So it's a recent machine.
So if we remote into that computer, we're probably not going to. Is there anything we can do? If we do event viewer, are we going to see anything about that screen symptom? I doubt it. It's an i5 12th gen, 12400. There's a good thing. Frosty Winnipeg recommending goes to Intel's site and pick the latest driver from Intel's site. It is a custom build computer, I believe he told us. Or was that Pebbles? So he was saying he has the ability to remote in via any desk. Yeah, I'm not wanting to have people connect via any desk to my computer and reverse the connection. We need to use my remote connection capabilities. All right, is Bobby Warren back yet? Ah, he
I'm
is.
here. I'm here. I will try to re-download it now for the remote.
So, Doug, what you're saying is it's not possible to reverse the remote desktop connection when you connect via LogMeIn?
I can reverse the
It's
connection. I can do that from my side, Alex, but the other person cannot. Comprende?
That's what I was asking. Yes.
Yeah.
You answered my question.
Yeah. And okay, here's I've got the remote connection. Is that Bobby? Is that you coming in now?
Yes.
And is it asking you for a 6-digit code?
Not yet.
I don't think it will because you're using the link from my video. Yeah, you are. So you're coming in. I'm clicking to restart as a service. You probably get a prompt that you'll need to approve for that.
The battery's at 46 right now. No, 45.
Okay. Do you see me moving the mouse?
Yes, I could.
Okay, I'm going to make that full screen. Minimize this Log Me in Rescue chat window. Minimize Log Me in Rescue. The browser window. All right. So your battery is the computer plugged in to electrical right now?
Not right now.
Okay, and the thing that you're coming to me about is that the battery won't charge. Is that correct?
It will lose a charge fast now. I got it to hold a charge. It loses charge fast.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and plug it in so that we can confirm that it will show that it's charging.
I will. Hold on. Let me go out to the main area where the charger is. Hold on, Doug.
Oh, hold on.
I'm holding on to my microphone.
We're trying. We need to go out to the main area.
Don't lose the grip.
All right, Bobby, I didn't know it's going to be that much trouble. That's not really
No,
that
no,
important.
Doug. Just a second.
Yeah, looks like I lost remote connection.
It's waiting for technician on my end.
All right. All I have is a option to end the connection. I don't have I got a reconnecting now.
It's bumbling where I'm at. The room a thunderstorm.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Camera on or just audio? Just audio for right now.
Okay, I still got a message that says reconnecting. Are you at a bad spot for your Wi-Fi connection right now, Bobby?
No, it's near the router. Found out why. The Wi-Fi wasn't on.
The what?
Why it was closed? Why it wasn't closed? The Wi-Fi wasn't on.
The Wi-Fi wasn't turned on?
Yes, here it is now. You're back connected, I think.
Just about there. Okay. So here we can see the symbol indicating that it is plugged in. Does it charge? Does it charge up to 100%?
Yes, we charged it up last night to 100.
Okay. And what you're saying is it loses charge very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I found to help with that, and this has helped many times, is to deep cycle, what I call deep cycle the battery, which means run it all the way down, and preferably not in Windows, but go to a BIOS screen, restart the computer into the BIOS setup screen, and just leave it on. That's a slow power consumption state. Leave it on until it actually dies, and then try to turn it on without plugging in the battery. Try to turn it on. It probably will come on, go straight into the BIOS setup screen, and leave it there until it dies again. Keep doing that. Keep turning it back on. Go into the BIOS setup screen until you press the power button and it will not turn on again. Then let it plug it in and let it charge all the way up, preferably without actually turning the computer on. But you can get it charged all the way up. You'll have to turn it on eventually to make sure it is charged all the way up. And then do the same thing again. Run it all the way down, deplete it, completely deplete it, drain it down to 0 to the point to where you press the power button and it will not come on again. Then charge it all the way up again, and then check to see how long the battery will hold its charge.
Yeah. All right. I will try that now. All right. Thank you, Doug, for your help.
You are welcome. Okay. I'm going to disconnect. And
We can try it tonight.
Yeah. Light Yagami, another new name. Great. Seems new for a Windows 11 machine. For, let's see, I don't know which one he's talking about, but seems new for a Windows 11 machine. Does that mean you don't think Windows 11 should be on a machine that's that new? Well, welcome, Light Yagami. Nice to see you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what computer you're using, what you use your computer for? You choose what you tell us about yourself. Let us know a little bit about you. How many cells in the battery? Can we talk about uninstalling Norton 360? Certainly. Is that for you, or did you spot that on one of the computers that I connected to? Doug is suggesting trying to wake up the battery's chemistry, sometimes call it fuzz. Another thing I've heard it called is training. When Windows is displaying how much percentage of battery power is left, how does Windows know that? I think, and I haven't researched this, but I think Windows is keeping track somehow of battery history, but it can't actually measure how much power is left in the battery. I can't imagine how that Windows would be capable of doing that. So I think when you're draining the computer all the way down, doing the sequence that I suggested of drain it all the way down, totally deplete it to where you press the power button, it won't come on anymore. And I'd prefer to do that in BIOS setup rather than in Windows, because you got the chance of damaging the Windows startup files by letting it drain all the way down. And you might get stuck into or might get put into a Windows recovery mode. So that's the only reason why I prefer to go into setup, but also because it's draining the battery slower. It's not displaying graphics. It's displaying whatever your BIOS screen is, which your BIOS screen might be, have some graphics, but it should be a lower power consumption. So it's draining the battery slower. And it's teaching your computer, teaching Windows, how much life that battery has. And then my way of describing this, Windows says, oh, that's how long the battery can last. Wow. Waking up the battery chemistry. That's in between the battery chemicals that cause it to charge and repel a charge. It's an interference. All right. Did I miss something? And we got a new participant in Zoom. Hello, Gary Weisenberger.
Hello.
Did you have something to add to the conversation?
A couple of things. One, earlier this week, I saw it later this week, but you had somebody say they should fix the upgrade from home to pro. They do have a fix for it. It's a $99 product. Windows Home to Windows Pro.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I tried that.
Good.
I still had to go through the fix of using that temporary
Downloaded
key.
the update.
I did. That was when I first ran into that problem upgrading from home to pro. I paid the $99 and just it was very problematic.
I haven't used it recently, but I've never had an issue with it, to be honest.
Well, it was a long time ago that I had tried that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use it, but I've never had an issue when I did use it. But to answer your question or your comment about battery, in the last 10 years, laptops have smart batteries, so it's actually in the battery technology itself. If you take a look at a battery, which I'm sure you have, they have like 10 wires in there now.
Okay, but
so the battery is actually keeping track of the usage.
Okay, so the technique that I described about draining it completely down and charging back up, draining completely down, charging back up, that has worked for me multiple times.
Yes, agreed.
But what is the reason? Is it actually fixing something about the battery chemistry, or is it teaching the battery's smarts how long that battery will actually last?
Well, actually, most Dell laptops, most laptops that I'm familiar with, come with the software. You set it up so it discharges and recharges itself automatically.
You know, okay, but that if a computer still gets to the point where it's not holding a charge very long, it doesn't matter whether it was.
Yeah, but the reason it doesn't hold a charge is because it's continuously charged. It never runs down.
Okay, well, I've heard that prescription too, where people say that you should let it run down and then charge it back up in order to extend the life of the battery. Now, for my use, I preferred to not bother with that because I was rarely wanting to use the computer with battery power. When I did want battery power, it was usually unexpected. So I've come across other people who were diligently letting the battery run down to, I don't know, 30%, whatever their number was, and then they would plug it back in. And what I ran into was people that were down to 30%, and then I would connect remotely to them and we're working on something, and then their computer dies because they forgot to plug it in. Because you have to remember to plug it in if you're going to do that procedure. I thought it was a lot of nuisance on an everyday basis to save some number of months before buying a replacement battery. So I've never been a big fan of it.
I keep mine always plugged in, or unless I'm on battery.
Yeah.
But in the Dells, you set up, I mean, it's in the BIOS. When it discharges, you don't do it. You don't unplug it. It does it in the BIOS. So, I mean, it's,
okay.
It discharges itself automatically, then recharges.
All right. Now, Zavi's comment a little while ago was some batteries no longer charge if they are completely discharged.
That is true also.
No, I have not come across that, and I'm not aware of that. Some batteries no longer charge if they are completely discharged. Yeah, I'm not aware of that.
We have issues with that with cars right now. I mean, internal to the computers in the car, not.
Yeah. Well, no, okay, I'll take that back. I have heard that. I have heard that about Teslas and you know, electric cars. I've heard that you're not that you absolutely cannot let them go completely discharged. Yeah. I've not heard that for laptop.
I'm talking
batteries.
about the ECM, not the actual battery pack. I'm talking ECM itself.
DCM, you're over my head.
ECM, electronic control module.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a car and you don't drive it, a new car right now, 2020 and above, and leave it sit for a month or two, you might not be able to start it. We were getting a lot of issues. We were getting a lot of issues during COVID with people saying, "Oh, my car doesn't work. You haven't drove it for 4 weeks, lady."
Here's an update from Islander Jer. So there are events in Event Viewer which refer to the application crashing. All right, his head, whatever that was called, application crashing. I'm going ahead with the latest graphics driver installed in any case. So you might also look at updates for your software if it's the program that's having trouble. You have to boost such batteries from Light Yagami, still gray. Let's make him a moderator. I thought I did that. You have to boost such batteries. I'm not sure which batteries he's referring to there. Yeah, let's go look at these event viewer things. Rapid FE error event viewer. So rapid FE, application error, crashing, his computer name, faulting application. Rapid FE is the application. CP Electronics. Now, did the application crashing cause the black screen, or did whatever caused the black screen issue cause the application to error out? I'm thinking it's probably the application crashed. If you can pay attention to the precise time when the screen goes blank and compare it to this time, you might get a clue there, but I think that's going to be so close, you'd be hard-pressed to figure out what happened first. Faulting application start time. That's actually a time code. Let's see, do we have any dates on this application? There's a version, so check your version number to see if they have an update to the software. I'm not seeing anything else in there that gives a clue. I don't know if he's tried that graphics reset command, since we talked about that. How quickly does this happen, Islander? Does it happen within the first few minutes after restarting the computer? Does it take a varied amount of time, sometimes minutes, sometimes hours? If you just want to go ahead with the updates, rather than answering more questions, go ahead. But just those are more thoughts. Londog, you just got too many things for me to read through there. Sorry. Completely dead batteries, you have to boost them. Gary, is that a thing? When those batteries go completely dead, can they be boosted?
On a Tesla, yes.
Oh, all right. He says it varies, usually days. Usually it takes days before the screen goes blank. So, yeah, why don't you just sit in front of the screen for days until it goes black and make note of the time? Now, if you had the new, what is the new AI thing on the where you have to have the NPU chip, neural processing unit, where it'll record everything that happened, so you could actually go back and replay the screen, I think, replay the screen video and show you when the screen went black. Does the battery get hot? This is V Minor. My information based on electronics repair school channel. Oh, all right. Let's see. And reminding myself what that prior was. Some batteries no longer charge if they're completely discharged. So you got that from his channel. Thank you for sourcing that.
I will say on the computer you popped up with Bobby, is it said it had a fuse blown, and the smart battery might be correct. And if it's got a fuse blown, it's toast.
Yeah, well, I was thinking we were going to focus on that blown fuse. However, this battery is taking a charge. So I'm thinking maybe that error message was misleading. If it's got a blown fuse, it shouldn't be accepting a charge at all, I would think. I
agree.
I can't say that I know that, but I'm really suspicious that blown fuse message was incorrect. Islander Jared, it's so frustrating. I couldn't even pay my apprentice to do that. I think that was about sitting in front of the screen. Zvi recall. Oh yeah, that's what that was called, the new AI NPU chip in Windows. If you have the NPU chip, you can use recall. And that keeps track of everything you do on your computer and makes it searchable, even searchable by describing the content of a picture or video. And it'll go back and find that when you were doing that. Does not upload that to the internet. Admittedly, that's according to what we're being told, but I believe that because the white hat and black hat hackers these days, you can't, Microsoft or Google, they can't get anything past them. If they're trying to do, and even the employees within these massively large companies, you cannot get all the employees to conspire to do evil things, such as actually upload data from your computer when they're claiming they're not. It's just not going to happen. What else we got here? Taking a charge, battery doesn't seem to have any capacity. Well, it does have some capacity because it's showing a percentage number. But I think when you disconnect it from the power, it thinks the charge is running down quicker than it is, or the charge actually is running down quicker than it is. And in either case, my experience is doing that deep cycle of the battery helps substantially. I do that with cell phones too. Tens of thousands of MS SQL Express errors. Yeah, there's a lot of errors that happen in Event Viewer that are not of concern. Laptop batteries can become locked by the battery management chip. Maybe modern multi-cell batteries have a fuse per cell. Oh, okay, so maybe that fuse message we were having was from a particular cell in the battery pack rather than the entire battery. Maybe. Lawn Dog asking, can anybody tell me why a fully charged car battery is 12.6 volts? Every battery, when it's fully charged, is going to be over its rated number. A 1.5 volt battery, if you measure a new one, it's going to be a bit above 1.5. The 3 volt coin cell batteries for BIOS, they're a little bit over 3 volts. 6 cells on a lead acid car battery, which each produces 2.1. I do have a redirect set up for Kerry Holzman's live show, which is in about half an hour. So I'm going to try to end on time today. All right. So we got to Bobby, we got to Alex, we got to, let's see, Gary, you said you had a couple things. Did you get to both of your comments? Maybe he's away from the microphone.
Hey, Doug, I sent you an email.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. I have neglected to go back to emails. Yes. Let's see. So there's Bobby's email. There's also a John Williams follow-up about his issue, which is resolved. So let's get to Josh issue. Let's go zoom up here. Yes. Okay. I'm going to show this email. He says, Doug, I have a computer question from seeing my Uncle Kerry today. He was talking about Malwarebytes. He said something which is quarantined. No one ever told me what it was. I know what it is in the COVID, but is that the same name in the computer world? Does it mean the same thing? Thank you. Yes, it does. And I'll come over here to Windows Defender. Yeah, I'm displaying this. Come over here to Windows Defender, then into Virus and Threat Protection, and then into Protection History. If I come over here to filters, quarantined items. So in antivirus software and Windows Defender has this term quarantined items. If they find a virus or something that needs to be quarantined, in some cases it'll ask you whether you want to quarantine it or remove it or allow it. Here in looking at protection history, if I select quarantine items, then I see all of my quarantined items, which are none. So yes, quarantine is a term used by antivirus products.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking the question. And then John Williams, let's go look at what he said. He was in chat yesterday about his Beelink U59. Says, I appreciate your kindness 100%. The link from Wintermute did update all the drivers needed, so you now have time for others that may need your help during Zoom tomorrow. And I saw his comment in chat and didn't read it out loud where he said, I'm glad I got my issue resolved. You seem busy today. Have a great weekend. Sincerely, John Williams. Thank you for that email follow-up, and glad to know that that got resolved. And let's see, then also he said, another email. So I said, thanks for letting me know. I will report your success tomorrow. Thank you too. I'm going to make a backup of those drivers just in case. And what he did is he had bought a Beelink computer, and I misunderstood it yesterday because I suggested that he make an export of the drivers before doing the fresh install, but he bought that computer without a storage drive. So there was no pre-installed operating system. He put in his own storage drive, installed Windows, and did not have the correct drivers for it. Now, during yesterday's show, I looked at those links that were put into chat, and I found they didn't work, or one of them didn't work for me. So I'm going back to yesterday's stream to go find those links. And because I didn't go back and look at that, unfortunately, I don't get to see all of chat here. Ah, there we go. Wintermute link and a Londog link. So this one from Wintermute went to mega.nz, and he's asking, do you get an error here? And I think it was that one I tried that I did get an error. Yeah, just yeah, this is what it came up with. Well, that's a download. That's a zip file and looks downloadable. That's not an error. So when I looked at this yesterday, I thought this was some kind of an error, and I just didn't look at it long enough. Then if I go back to then Londog's
John Williams
link.
said that link did work.
Yes, I understood that. Now this one that Londog put in did not work. So I'm guessing this is the one that John Williams originally had trouble with. This is at Beelink's site, and that's the link that Londog put in. So that's the one apparently that has the error. And Wintermute found this one at mega.nz. What is mega.nz? Do you know anything about that, Wintermute? Any explanation behind why that one worked and Beelink's link did not work?
I know what it is. It's just another file sharing type of download manager type of website instead of directly downloading the file. You're downloading the file through that Mega NZ thing.
It's
That's all it is.
it's a cloud storage. I had it for a while.
All right. All right. So apparently somebody made it available there, and perhaps Wintermute just did found it through a Google search or something.
No, that's actually Beelink's download site.
That Mega NZ is a Beelink site?
That's where they put their information, yes.
Well, let's go see what why do I pull a brain fade every time I think of this? MX toolbox. And then try looking up mega.nz to see who that is. See what clues I get out of this.
NZ is Netherlands, right?
New Zealand, I
is it
think.
not?
Should be New Zealand.
New Zealand? Okay, that kind of makes sense. Who is lookup? That's what I want. An error has occurred.
No, it is not Beelink. It is a site they use.
A site they use. Okay, it's not their site. Okay.
But if you go to the Beelink website and hit download, that's where you go.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Beelink.
That's why I posted, I'm assuming.
Beelink.com. Well, what was that? The one that doesn't work was a Beelink.com CMS support index. Return to home page. So that support index doesn't work. So if I go to support, well, here's a bunch of stuff. Back this way. Product mini PC support. Go to support, and then this doesn't look very user friendly. Which he told us what computer that was. I think he did. Yeah, U59. Beelink U59.
John Williams said U59.
Yeah, got it. So then come back to here. And is there U59 here? Yeah. I click, there's a download button. There's driver. Download. You're about to download the whole folder driver. Okay. Driver zip. So it looks like it is findable through their website. Kind of. It's not a very pretty presentation, although it's still circling. dr for driver dot b-link.cn. Well, that's the page where I'm at. Username, password, login. Ah, there it goes, finally. Download occurring. Resuming. We are not zooming, we are resuming. All right. Yeah. Site was not user-friendly. .com was mega upload founder. Kim.com. Okay. Still, I'd like to know specifically what driver are we chasing. After I've missed it, please state what driver he does. He's got all of his drivers now. He's good. I showed the email from John showing that, telling us that all the drivers are properly installed and it's working, and he says thank you. My explorations there was just to see what was going on about a link that was not working. Highlander says, thank you for your time. It's a PC supplied by a company. I'll send them copies of the logs. They'll either send it to the developer or have to supply us a stable PC. Got it. But truthfully, what I'm asking is why didn't Microsoft provide at least the basic drivers? Microsoft doesn't provide drivers that are not provided to them by the manufacturer. Computer manufacturers, device manufacturers can provide the drivers to Microsoft. I don't know if it costs them money to do that. I assume it does. Microsoft doesn't provide any assurances that all drivers that are needed will be provided through Windows Update and Microsoft. My understanding is that's a relationship between hardware manufacturers and Microsoft. And if you think that should be legislated and there should be a law about that, then talk to your congressman. Oh, please don't. It may not be the most...
The government really don't care about Windows or Microsoft or any of the Windows 11 or Windows 10 stuff. The rest of us think about, as long as it works, that's all they care about.
Well, they will care about it if enough of their voting constituents care strongly enough that they do something about it. But I really would not want them to do that because that'll just mess things up. I'm kind of skimming over comments now. All right. Going back and look at the topics that I had lined up for today to see if there's any quick, easy things that I can knock out among my topics. Where are they? Oh, that's yesterday's show. Topics. So topic number 2 was follow-up for John Williams, and that is done. He bought that computer without a storage drive, and he installed fresh Windows 10 Pro. Bobby Warren, we dealt with that one. Routine hardware disclosure, we'll postpone that again.
Ran Israel said topic 7 maybe?
Status of checklist notes for creating a prototype install image for an office. Yeah, let me go remind myself where I have that since I didn't prepare that. For base image default profile, let's see, that was prototype install image. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the state of that checklist. Now the way I do checklists is I have them basically created in Microsoft Word. When I'm going to actually use it on a specific computer, Control A to select.
John Williams said the Beelink mini PC now has the upgrade to Win11 Pro.
I'm gonna look at that to understand. The Beelink mini PC now has the upgrade to the Windows 11 Pro. Oh, his computer that he was talking about has the upgrade. But you actually did a fresh install. Was that actually an upgrade? Or did you just do a fresh install of Windows 11 Pro? Because that's the one you bought without a storage drive, right? Why would you call that an upgrade? I would think you just do a fresh install. Unless you bought a Windows 10 Pro license to save the money and then perform the free upgrade to Windows 11 Pro. That could be why. What did you just save $5 on that, maybe? Not a big fan of paragraphs. No, you need to understand what I'm doing there, Ram, is I highlight them like that and then insert table like this. And then I insert a column to the left. And then I select all of that, Control C to copy all that. And then I go into Microsoft OneNote and do a paste. And that gives me the ability to put notes in this column about each of these items I come across. So after I
read chat, please.
I'll come to chat in a moment. After I've added the table, and copied it over. Then I come back here to Word and do Control Z to get back to this level. This is the level that I do editing of my checklist. John Williams, it had Windows 10 Pro license first. Oh, okay, that computer when you bought it, well, you bought it without a storage drive, so it was purchased with a Windows 10 Pro license. Now, at that point in time, had that, okay, all right, well, that was not a digital license. That was one of those embedded license where it's embedded into the BIOS, I think it is. And so then when you install Windows 11 Pro, that license should be able to activate because it has a Windows 10 Pro license in BIOS. I don't think you would have to first install Windows 10 Pro motherboard. It's well, BIOS is on the motherboard. So is that saying the same thing as it may be some chip other than the motherboard where that license is stored? It seems like there must be an easier way than actually putting a specific chip that's only purpose in life is to hold the license information. That seems like there must be an easier way to do that, like programming it into the BIOS code. All right, so back onto this list. I'm going to zoom in. Let's go one page and zoom into what, like 200%? That's good. Windows 11 Pro initialized with or without Internet Connect and sign in options, work, school, domain, local users. So these are not, this is not a checklist that's designed for other people to read and understand. So I create a local username, admin, activate the license, check what installed programs are. If I do a fresh install, then export device drivers first. This is a note here that the Beelink S12 that I recently, the one that was under $200, only had 4 items in AppWiz. Perform fresh install if desired due to bloatware. I put my remote calling card on the desktop. Do not install unattended. I don't want to install unattended because I'm creating an image that I want to use on other computers. If I install my unattended remote access, then that means there's multiple computers out there that are claiming to be the same computer to log me in rescue. So I can't install the unattended access. Move DougBetts remote to the public desktop because this computer I'll be creating other user accounts on it. So I want that icon to be in the public desktop. Check encryption, disable if needed. Change the device name to rename this. So the computer name is going to be rename this. This is my checklist for creating an image that I'm going to replicate across multiple computers. Check adjust time zone. Little space between these because this section is a little different in grouping or purpose. Configure power and sleep settings. Those settings are across the board for the computer, not just for the user, I think. Not quite clear on that. Let's see who we got coming in. Darren Gilholm. Hello, Darren.
Hello, I'm
Darren
feeling for.
Hello, Darren.
Hello.
Oh, I gotta push some buttons here. Let's see. We got three rows and 3 columns. Let's see if I've got to adjust this here. 3 rows and 3 columns. Once I adjust this once for 3 rows, 3 columns, that will stick. This is the first time I've had 3 rows and 3 columns since I set up this new system. For people who don't know, the reason why I do that is because what the people in Zoom are seeing is the image that I'm broadcasting. They are seeing that instead of my individual image. So in my frame, they are seeing all the people that are in Zoom right now. When I switch back to my list, they're seeing that in Zoom. So it gives them the ability to see what I'm actually broadcasting in real time instead of watching the YouTube which is a delay. Darren, do you have anything to bring to the table? Oh, he
doing that. I'm just listening.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for coming in. I'll continue off of my checklist then. Then next to do run control panel, small icons, power options, choose what power buttons do, change settings that are currently unavailable. So this is turning off fast startup and hibernation, disable hibernation. So I'm not going to read through all of these because I'm going to put people to sleep. But what I will do for the people who are interested in this is I'll display one screen worth at a time, and you can come back later and read through these, and you can come back and question me on these things later. These links down here is for Desktop OK and Restore Desktop Icons. These are two different software products that we looked at recently for remembering the locations of icons on the desktop so that I can install this or have this. It's a portable, both of these are portable programs or available in portable versions, so that I can use these so that when I create a new user account on a computer, I can use these to arrange the icons in the way that I want them set up to be universally liked by the staff in the offices that I support. Coming down to the next section, see if there's anything that jumps out at me. This is export drivers using the DISM command. And that is so that I can, now this is before, seems like this should have been earlier in the process. Have I not done? Yeah, okay, well, I can't explain why that's there at this point. But anyway, I'm exporting the drivers just in case I need them at a future point. And Forensit, that is for a utility for copying profiles. defprof MSI to extract defprof exe to the, yeah, I'm not going to try to explain that one now. Okay, I said I was going to not read through these, and then I started reading them. Is that the end of it? Yeah, that's the end of it. So this is a work in progress, and what my intentions are with this, because I'm expecting many of my clients to have to buy a bunch of computers, my intentions is to get them standardized, because right now my clients have lots of different makes and models of computers in their offices. So if we can buy standardized computers for their office, they're going to be the same drivers, and I can create an image on one computer and work with their staff to get them set up the way that they need them with all the programs that the various people in the office need. Their bookmarks on their web browsers, what else? Their drive mappings. So I'll actually install one of these prototype computers in their office, configure the drive mappings, configure printers for all the printers in the office. So I wind up with an image that has all the printers across the office, and I can have a standard image that I can just restore to replacement hardware anytime a computer has a problem, and have less setup time than I currently have. I have clients now that is, in some cases, it takes over 6 hours of my time to set up a single computer so that it is usable for the end user. Now, why that long? A lot of you say, well, it just takes me an hour or two to whip out, install Windows and browsers and give it to them. Well, I do a lot more service for my clients so that the employees can sit down. They don't have to install anything. They don't have to configure anything. It all just works so that they can go from their old computer to the new computer with very, very little interruption. Now, this computer that I've told you about a few times that I installed recently for the managing partner in a law firm, on that, I did not go through this setup. What I did on his is I took an image backup of his existing HP tower computer, and I restored it to a Beelink computer, and I had exported the drivers from the Beelink image. So I restored his HP image to that Beelink. I had to jump through a number of hoops because his old image, his old drive was MBR. So I had to change the BIOS so that it would boot in legacy mode. I have not upgraded that to GPT because that's not going to be his final state. Once I create the image for his entire office, he'll be moved to that image. But anyway, yeah, so his computer was completely functional, exactly as he was used to it, with no tinkering or adjustments. Once I had the drivers installed, I took it over there, plugged it in, and it just worked. He's been with that over 2 weeks now, and not one call from him to fix anything. And that includes his capability to connect remotely to his office computer from his home computer. Because it's the same image as his old computer, it had the same client, the same host configuration for logmein.com, which is what they're using. And for my remote connection for LogMeIn Rescue, my unattended just works without any tinkering. So I was very happy with how that turned out. Now, that's not going to be his final state. I think.
How does he do that? Are you not at liberty to discuss how he makes the connection between his office computer and his home computer?
Oh, just log me in. Logmein.com. It's a basic remote software. Does that not answer the question?
No, but I mean for him. I know you use that, but he uses that as well.
No, I use LogMeIn Rescue. That is different than LogMeIn. LogMeIn.com is a different software. It's the same company, but it's a very different software, and it works very much like any of the remote software programs that I know you have experience with, where you. But
you have to pay. You have to pay for that because
Yes.
it took away the free version
Yes.
years ago.
It is a paid version, and their prices have increased dramatically in recent years, and we are intending to move them over to, what's that other one called? I think Remote PC. It's much less expensive, but it is still a paid version. And they are, but they are a profitable for-profit company. And
Hey, Doug,
yeah, go ahead, Josh.
why not use AnyDesk?
I don't trust AnyDesk quite as well, but they've been on LogMeIn Rescue for a 10-user account for a long time. So switching to a product involves a lot of my billable time. It's conceivable that AnyDesk would have been okay. I wouldn't mind using AnyDesk paid version for my clients. I would not try to set up AnyDesk free version for a business environment because it is against their terms of service. I had one client who did do that. They told me to take off logmein.com that they were using on their computers. They wanted to use AnyDesk as a personal user, and they were doing that, connecting from home, and they ran into troubles because AnyDesk will shut you down if they think that you're using it for commercial purposes. That client is no longer a client of mine. You guys are already aware of that. That's that CPA firm that I fired. Seems like a couple of years now. So it's getting close to shutdown time now because Kerry's about to start his show.
Now, before you shut the Zoom session down, Doug, you might want to. I sent you a message in the Zoom chat. You might want to look at
Manor
briefly
said I can
before
check
you end the
Rust Desk
session.
it free to use.
All right.
So just a heads up.
All right. Yeah, I see the chat thing.
Yeah, don't read it out loud.
All right.
You're showing it, Doug.
I'm showing it?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Silly goose. Sorry about that.
The benefit of two monitors at one time.
You're watching on two monitors at one time. All right. Well, I blew that. I didn't even get to read through all that. Let's see.
Ken Stoutlive said, just read it out loud after all. You showed it.
All right. I understand. I don't have to tell me again. I showed it. Well, that was fun.
Hey, Doug, I'm gonna bail out. I'll be able to go later.
All right, and he says, I'm sorry, man. All right, I will look closer at that afterwards. I'm going to go take a look and see if Carrie
Read
has
chat,
started
please.
yet. He says, read chat.
Yes, Bob.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to read it out loud, Ken.
Anyway, got a quick one for you, Doug, real quick.
All right.
I asked a question about the product codes. Okay, there is no, put air quotes, which you can't see. They come with an embedded product code in BIOS, which keys with the serial number, MAC address, serial number off the drive, goes to Microsoft when you set the computer up and comes back with your digital license.
Okay.
To that computer.
That makes sense.
Or if you Jim buys a computer from Dell, whoever, even Beelink, it should be OEM, Home, or Pro. It should be individual to that computer per Dell and per Microsoft. I talked to both our reps. Now, if you get, enterprise generic license key, volume keys, that's a different story. We're not talking businesses. We're talking you and I buying a computer, or 3 or 4. And that product key in BIOS should be unique to that computer. So, and that's where if you buy a computer in BIOS that has like a Dell right now with Home, that's where you get the issue to go into Pro. Because when you just go to load the, get your Windows 11 USB key, or excuse me, stick it in, it's going to go to Home or Pro, whatever you have. And you have to go to change the config.file on the USB stick so you choose. So if you don't, it'll install what you have in BIOS right now.
All right.
So if you bought a home computer, wiped it, Dell Inspiron Home, wiped it clean and said, I'm going to install Windows, and stuck just USB in there, boot it up, it'll install Home. It will not ask you if you want.
Yes, I have experienced that.
Correct. That is because the product key, 25-digit, like they use, alphanumeric, is in the BIOS. That is correct.
All right. Now, in the case of custom-built computers that aren't going to have that in BIOS, if you have a motherboard that you have previously had Windows 10 Home, let's say, and then you switch to a different storage drive and you go to install Windows, since that's not in BIOS, even though it's previously had a digital license, I'm thinking that it's still going to ask which version you want to install, because it's not going to, that's not stored in BIOS. So you're not going to see it. Okay.
That is correct. It will ask you which one, and you have to try and remember which key you used originally.
Yes, because that digital license still exists out there. So if you use the wrong one, then it's not going to activate.
Correct.
Correct. And I think it seems like I've experienced that too.
And you will have a problem if it's an OEM key and a different motherboard. You may have to call Microsoft and tell them that you're changing it.
No, if you change the motherboard, but those keys are so cheap, why you just get another key?
Right. Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, in theory, if you have a big enough store, you can actually send those digital keys back to Microsoft. You don't lose your money. So I don't want to even know where the $12 keys are coming from. But that's another discussion. We won't go there.
All right.
But if you buy 1,000 keys, Best Buy, they do not sell them. They send them back to Microsoft.
Have to buy a product key.
Okay. All right. That's Carrie talking about product keys that you just heard briefly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shut down then. In Zoom, say goodbye to the audience, please.
Good night, Grayson.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. All right. Goodbye. All right. And all right. I see your sorry is light, Yagami. And have a great Memorial Day weekend for those of you who are celebrating that. And that's a U.S. holiday this weekend. And other than that, I'm sending you off to Carrie. So catch you later. Goodbye.